And we are live. I did not expect us to be here, yet here we are. It is Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. NBA live before lock. Game 6, Lakers, Heat. I didn't think we were going to get there. I didn't think we were going to get there for most of the game. I didn't even think that we were going to get there watching the final minute of the game, yet here we are. I am Josh Engleman. Ryan, did you win the GPP that you called 2 nights ago?
No, I didn't win the one that I called. I ended up tying with others within our own team. I tied with newest member of the team, the Colts, Steve Buzzard, and Alex as well. So
Wait, you chopped the victory? You did win?
yeah, on DraftKings, yeah, with them, yeah. So
okay, so you were just saying that you didn't win individually, but you
no,
did in
I
fact
said,
bink the tournament.
yeah, I had called that I'd go. I had called that I'd win on FanDuel. I didn't. I won on DraftKings.
Okay. Oh well, that good clarification. It doesn't mean as much if you win on the site that you didn't call. We are about to break down this game for the 6th time. I think you and I have done probably 5 of these so far. I think you and I missed one of them. But we have news. So first and foremost, we need to just put this out there. Shout out to No House Advantage for being the presenting sponsor. I am pulling their logo up on the screen now because I didn't have it up there. My bad, No House Advantage. We're going to touch on your props in a little bit. We'll touch on your contests as well. So we actually have news for this.
We have even more news right now. Sorry to break in. Goran Dragic will be active Sunday.
Okay, well, let's do this. Okay, so the original news was supposed to be that Dwight Howard is not in the starting lineup and that Alex Baker has moved into the starting lineup for the Lakers. That was supposed to be the news. That is no longer the super news. It just happened right now, 37 seconds ago. I thought he was out. Goran Dragic active for Game 6 of the NBA Finals. I'm not terribly surprised by that, and I don't get the sense that we see him a lot. But we're about to dig into this because this is news to you and I. So let's just start there because I think that the Howard news isn't as interesting. Goran Dragic in. What in the world do we make of this?
So he's active. I don't know if he's starting. Let's see what.
I would be shocked if he's starting.
So, I mean, 50 minutes ago, we got the Heat starting lineup as Butler, Hero, Robinson, Crowder, and Adebayo, what they've been doing. Let me see what.
It's very easy for them to make him active, but not necessarily relevant.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. Maybe they clearly saw enough of him in warm-ups for him to be active where he could crack a rotation in the first half, a rotation in the second half to give him some sort of boost. Goran Dragic came off the bench for most of the year, so this is like not a big deal for them at all. He has been phenomenal in the playoffs all season, all playoffs long in the bubble. Now, I will be shocked if he plays more than 20 minutes. Though.
Yes, I agree. Completely agree, 100%. I don't think that that's possible. And I don't think he can make it. Like, even if they were like, you can play as much as you would like to play, I don't think that he can play that long.
Yeah, I think if you're building up projections and whatnot, man, I'd be hard for me to project him higher than 12. Maybe 4-minute stints or 3-minute stints in every quarter potentially. It's really hard for me to see with the injury he's had. For him to play that.
We have more news. It has nothing to do with the NBA. I think Dak Prescott just broke his leg bad.
Like Alex Smith bad? Shout out to Alex Smith for making it back to the league.
Very true. Everything I see on Twitter is, broken. Ricky Sanders broken ankle for Dak. He's done. He's definitely hurt.
Oh, contract year. Oh, that's brutal.
Not
Man,
just a contract year, but like a real contract year. In a
career like
situation
career
where
cutting.
people don't really get contract years in the NFL, a lot of people saying looks like his ankle is broken. His ankle is sideways. Looks like his ankle is broke. Oh no, it's broke. Dak, 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 Dak,
Oh,
Dak. 40 mil. It's over
Skip
for Dak.
Bayless breaking. Skip Bayless with the oh no. All right. Well,
Ryan,
that
our
ends.
show is going nuts. We just got Dragic in, Dak breaking an ankle, Caruso in the starting lineup. What is happening? We have a crazy 45 minutes.
Yeah. With all this news, and feel free to hit the like button. I'm taking Josh's words out of his mouth right now.
Love
It's
it.
a Sunday. We're dealing with some chaos right now as we speak, but sorry for those who had Dak in their lineups. It's a tough go there, but it's DFS for you. But let's talk about the Stragic thing. Now,
Do it.
I'm going back to that. Man, maybe anywhere from 12 to 15 minutes is where I see him. Granted, there could be an adrenaline rush where pain is irrelevant and he doesn't feel much of it, and they somehow love the way he seems. But I think that's like a 0.001% chance that we see 30 minutes from him. Like
Yeah.
he's active, which is great. He might not even see the floor, so that's where I stand. It's a my guess right now is as good as anyone's. Like I just reading Ira Winderman's tweet, he didn't really provide any extra information. I I'm just skeptical, and like
Sure.
now looking into more of the DFS side of things, his price tag on DraftKings is what's he priced at? He's priced at
85.
8,400.
Yeah. Is it
Yeah.
84? Yeah.
Now
Okay.
it's not like we're getting a 1K special where I'd be willing to take a chance on him.
Right.
And he's not in like he is 10,500 on FanDuel where
Impossible to
I
play.
like other yeah. Um
If I told you for sure that he was playing 24 minutes, would you play him at that FanDuel price? Because to me, that's still a no.
not on FanDuel.
Right.
DraftKings maybe I'll be willing to take a shot.
Sure.
I mean, it's also like not the greatest matchup. I mean, he played 15 minutes. He put up 15 fantasy points in that first game before he got hurt.
Yeah.
And like this matchup for him, if he's going to ball handle quite a bit, in 24 minutes, with that injury, I'll probably project him for maybe 18. But I'm not going to even have him projected for anything just because of his price right now.
Yeah. So on FanDuel, I think it's safe to just fully ignore him. On
Mm-hmm.
DraftKings, I think it's more plausible to have him as like a wild card type play. I don't think that he's a particularly good play in either direction, though. Same page?
Yeah, completely agree with you. We did get a super chat from Des Thomas. Brings up a good question, and it says, "If Goran is active, what does that mean for none?" It
Yeah.
obviously doesn't help none. It doesn't help none. Where none played well last time out. I think we both were waiting for that none game in terms of his salary.
Yeah.
And if he played well, they won the game. And I do think he played 28 minutes. I think that's right at his minute ceiling. Even so, with Goran being active, maybe tone it down to his minutes into maybe 24 if Goran plays. But I do expect none to still play. I
Yeah.
think they've won 2 games without Dragic, and none didn't necessarily play bad last time out. He played well enough for them to win. I am going to project none for in the high teens, low 20s fantasy points,
Yeah.
just around there. He still has a decent upside, just because he took 11 shots. I like that shot volume in those minutes, and he hit a 6 of 11 last time out. He didn't get to the line. He was someone who would get to the line more often in the regular season. It's just in the finals, it's been Jimmy Butler's show. But it doesn't help none that Goran's active. That's my answer to your super chat. Thanks for the super chat, by the way. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Des, for that super chat. Yeah, I don't get the sense. I think it limits Nunn's like full on upside because any minute that Dragic plays is pretty much coming specifically at Nunn's expense. I think it's a very realistic scenario that while Goran Dragic is active, he doesn't play. They are running what amounts to like a 7-person bench. So the final 5 people that are active, largely irrelevant. They don't it doesn't really matter who the 5 guys are that weren't going to play anyway. So I
Yeah,
understand making
Spo.
him available.
Mhm. Yeah, Spo already like took out Kelly Olynyk from the rotation last time,
Right.
played 7 guys. So I expect more likely the 7 guys to happen again. I don't expect the only guy if I were to see enter the rotation is probably Dragic. I don't see Olynyk or Solomon Hill, any of those guys entering the rotation today. Just Dragic, maybe, and that is the biggest maybe. Kind of like for any guy who's been active. Come on, he tore his plantar fascia, right?
Yes. Yes, he did.
Okay.
So 12 active would be Iguodala, Bam, Derek Jones, Duncan Robinson, Dragic, Crowder, Butler, Olynyk, Nunn, Myers Leonard, Solomon Hill, Tyler Hero. I assume this means that Udonis Haslam would then be not active if Dragic is active. Otherwise, they would need to make either Derek Jones, Myers Leonard, or Solomon Hill not active. I don't think that they would make Myers Leonard not active just in like the random case, kind of like you wouldn't unactivate your catcher. So in that regard, like I don't think that it matters. I think it's still a very realistic possibility that Goran Dragic doesn't see the floor unless it's sort of a break in case of emergency. He goes out there at like the beginning of the second half and gives them whatever they think he can get. I'm not super worried about him at all right now, other than I think it does mute Kendrick Nunn. I don't think there's any
Yeah,
real effect anywhere else.
I agree with you there. Um, yeah, I think that Kendrick Nunn is by far affected the most. Maybe there's a secondary effect to potentially Tyler Hero, but no. But I think Kendrick Nunn definitely is limited the most. It's just that I'm trying to see if there's any other reason why he's active. What was the final decision right now on Twitter? So I'm just trying to find that to see what's going on.
Only thing I saw,
Um,
Zeke touchdown. Not what I was looking for, but this isn't a football show. I had a tweet from Ira Winderman. Have been told he's not starting. Hero has been submitted in the starting lineup with Howard not starting for the Lakers. Not as important for Heat to have numerous bigs available. So that makes some sense to me. I'm not super worried about this. If you were heavy on Kendrick Nunn, I would kind of be nervous. Otherwise, I don't think it affects a single soul on the rest of the.
yeah, if I were playing 150 lineups, I maybe have 2 or 3 Dragic. Just because they made him active for a reason, and I do think he's active for the inclination that he'll get some sort of run. And that's just like because it's a showdown slate, it's a single game slate, and crazy things can happen. That's the risk I'm willing to take. But in one lineup, I could not play Dragic whatsoever.
So 1 of 150 is like a 0.5%. I don't think there's a 0.5% chance that Goran Dragic is in the winning lineup. I don't think it's plausible for him to be on the floor enough to matter. I think this injury is too much to overcome. I would not touch him at all. I wouldn't put him in anything. Kendrick Nunn is the only person that I would functionally worry about in this case. I had him projected for 24 minutes now. I I can't confidently bring that back too far. Like in the grand scheme of things, I think that that's probably only like 2 minutes off of Kendrick Nunn as an average. Um, because I think there are a lot of cases where Goran Dragic doesn't see the floor at all. He doesn't play a single second.
Mhm.
And if we're talking about like all of the potential outcomes that could happen, I think taking a couple minutes off of Kendrick Nunn is optimal. And if his ownership will matter a lot, he was in the mid 30s on DraftKings previously. I don't want to have him in the mid 30s at this point now. I think the highest that I would want to go is probably somewhere in the mid 20s, something in that neighborhood. Although now I don't feel particularly safe with none at all. Although I do think that that makes him a more interesting GPP play.
Yeah, I agree there. I also think I think we none he'll projected for 26% ownership on DraftKings. And I'm willing to come in just around that right now, even with the Draftkings, maybe a little lower. It's a tough situation to predict just because we don't know what's going to end up happening.
Yeah.
Um, I think we should flip over quickly and talk about the Caruso starting lineup change, where
Yeah.
they have now opted to play Anthony Davis at the five, which they do quite a bit in game and whatnot, and it's a very common in game lineup that we're going to see that start. So I'm not too worried about that whatsoever. But I do now think Dwight Howard is done. He's not going to be in the rotation. I'd be shocked to see that.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know why you would not start him if you were still planning to play him anyway. He would have to show up in
that-
like the third quarter or the fourth quarter or something. I don't think there's a chance that he plays in the first half, barring like really weird stuff.
yeah, and now this goes to now Caruso playing all the starting lineup. I still am going to only project him for now. He played 23 minutes, 22 minutes, 26 minutes in the previous three games. I think now he can get to 28.
Yes.
I don't see him really getting to 30 because they have Rondo coming off the bench, and maybe Rondo's the one who closes this time around. He was horrible in the previous game. I think he was a minus 14. Him and Kuzma were like minus 14, minus 17. Maybe I'm flipping those numbers around, but they both were not very good. Caruso's 3,800 on DraftKings. He's 7,500 on FanDuel. I'm gonna like that in a situation where we are kind of looking for value on a showdown slate,
Yeah.
and he checks that box for me. I do think he's gonna get quite a bit of ownership, and I'm gonna be willing to get over the field just because I feel kind of safe with that play at that price, and I think the upside of Caruso at 28 minutes, he could get you 30 fantasy points, and that's pretty solid.
Yeah. We're on the same page there. I've been curious to see, you know, I wanted to see how much Alex Baker would project himself for minutes tonight. Now that he is in the starting lineup for the Lakers, he did go with 28. I thought that that was a proper estimate. If we do look at the ownership right now, Alex Caruso projected for 50% ownership in the utility spot at 3,800. Not only that, he's not the only Laker priced down projected for 50% ownership. Markieff Morris at 3K, also there. Do you have a preference between Caruso and Morris? Now that, Morris is ostensibly the backup center, I guess?
So, uh, man, Markieff Morris was the real reason they blew that game. I know Danny Green missed that shot, but Markieff Morris, we were talking about it. What a terrible decision making in that final second. But now
Yeah.
Morris had that monster game in game two, I believe, right? And his price has gone up to 3,000. Put up negative fantasy points. I think people are going to shy away from what happened. And I'm just going to be willing to just get over the field, kind of just zig when they zag. As we saw his upside 31 minutes, 31 fantasy points. That's like amazing. I don't expect that to happen. He did play 30 minutes in that previous game, in the game that they won. I'm gonna project him for the mid-teens in fantasy points, and but I'm gonna have Caruso projected higher. So, but there, you do save $800. It depends what you can do with the $800. I like them both for what it's worth.
Oh,
They make my lineups look good. I can get the studs in, as we can see as the games move on in the series. The studs really matter. I like them both, but I'm going to project Caruso higher. Is probably my answer to the question.
I do have Caruso projected higher because of the salary savings. I actually do prefer Markieff Morris to Caruso. I do want to touch on Woj's tweet. El Negro Loco posted it in chat, but Miami's Goran Dragic has been determined to find a way to play in these NBA finals with plantar fascia tear in his left foot, and sources say he's been told the injury cannot be worsened by playing. Pain has been extreme, and he hasn't been able to put much pressure on his foot. So, yeah, evidently he is active. It cannot get worse, but apparently every time he takes a step, it sucks incredibly. So Just take that for what it's worth. If he gives them a couple minutes, fantastic. As far as I'm concerned, he is not worth rostering today. I don't see a scenario where he's not priced incorrectly. I don't know what to do with him.
Yeah, I would for me to play Dragic, going back to those, like, I was really like, when I saw he was gonna play, oh, maybe DraftKings had done what they do is like, oh, they slashed him all the way down to 1K. And yes, then at that point, I was gonna take some shots for him for sure.
100%.
Yeah. Now the price is not favorable at all. We're in a position where Rondo can outscore him. Duncan Robinson can outscore him, as we can see. He's been playing absolutely out of his mind. The threes he's been hitting. We'll get to him shortly. Uh, 8,400 is obviously like that price is in an island, but yeah, I can't really advocate to playing him. But going
Is
back to
5,400 too much for Kendrick Nunn now? Because those are the two guys that are intertwined. Nunn projected for 26% ownership.
uh, too much is tough, like, because like there's a chance where Dragic goes on and he just can't do anything, and Nunn gets those minutes
Yep.
right off the bat. And then if he gets those minutes, there you go. $5,400 is fine. It's not too expensive, but I have Caruso projected now higher than Nunn when you're saving $1,600. So in that sense, when I'm gonna have to see how many lineups I get of both Caruso and Nunn. I don't think it'd be many.
Sure.
Uh, I think just because now Caruso is in play, the answer to your question is probably yes, in the sense he is too priced too much. But the upside is there. It all depends on what happens with Dragic.
All right, everybody. First and foremost, 675 people, only 83 likes. Fully unacceptable. I can't deal with this right now. You guys need to hit that thumbs up. You were fantastic on our live before lock / deeper dive show earlier today. We got north of 1,000 likes. That is what I love. We just need to be, I don't know, like 200 seems like a really normal number. And we also need to shout out No House Advantage for being this presenting sponsor. As of right now, they have a $2,000 prize pool up top, 1K to first, and it's full. You guys didn't get there fast enough. We've got props like LeBron James, 31.5 points, 10.5 rebounds, 9.5 assists. Yeah, that's right. The props are lining up LeBron for a 30, 10, and 10 tonight. They must know that it's a game 6. You guys just want to go to No House Advantage. Use the promo code Awesemo. Get yourself a $20 free play on your first deposit and a $5 bonus if you refer a friend and they make a deposit. You're picking props. You're ranking those props. It's not like a normal fantasy scoring where, you're worried about 1 point per point and 1.2 per assist. None of that. You're looking at a prop at Rajon Rondo at 13.5 points and assists. If you think that is a no-brainer over tonight, you select that prop, you take that 13.5 points, and you put it in your 6-point slot. You put one at 6 points, 5 points, 4 points, 3, 2, 1. You rank the props accordingly based on your, likelihood that it happens. Get those points if they win. All you have to do is go to No House Advantage to do that. Now, we haven't touched at all on any of the actual important people for this slate. From the time we started this show, we talked about Kendrick Nunn, Goran Dragic. We talked about Markieff Morris and the lack of Dwight Howard. I see no reason that we ignore LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and everyone's new favorite basketball player, Jimmy Butler. Who do you prefer out of the 3 studs tonight?
Last time you needed all 3 on DraftKings to come up and come in first. And Jimmy Butler, I think I had mentioned last stream where I just wanted to see LeBron just go back and forth with another superstar, and we got just that, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Kudos to Jimmy Butler, played 47 minutes. I think that's in the ballpark right again. I mean, they're not going to take him off the court. In terms of the best point per dollar play, I'm going to prefer LeBron James, actually. Just taking a look at it, just because, man, LeBron's just going to have to really go zero dark what is he called? Zero Dark 30 mode or something in the playoffs. He just turns on
I have
another
no
switch,
idea. I was
and
gonna
they're
say
gonna need.
Zero Dark LeBron, but I have no idea what it
Yeah,
is.
he's gonna need to go that do exactly that. He played a great game last night. He went 15 to 21, went 40, 10, and I believe 7.
Yeah.
They're gonna need that, if not more. I mean, clearly that wasn't enough. Now, 42 minutes, yeah, it's really tough for me not to really project LeBron for around 60 plus fantasy points today. Uh, and I think he's just going to really just carry the load. And now that he, now that what's his name, Anthony Davis is like fine, but maybe he's not 100%. Maybe LeBron needs to take a few extra more shots. That's going to cause his usage to go up. I mean, it's already super high. I prefer LeBron, and I'm gonna make sure to find a way to get him in almost all my lineups. Almost.
Yeah, I completely agree. He showed up in 73% of sims, 21% of the time in the captain spot, well north of what we have him projected for right now. I love him. I see no reason to get away from him. The bigger question then is, how nervous are you about Anthony Davis's injury to his heel, which, from what I understand, is painful, but much like Dragic, it's not something that he could like injure permanently. Although that's the same thing that they told Kevin Durant, and then he tore his Achilles. And then, do you prefer Jimmy Butler to Anthony Davis?
So I've been wrong the last 3 times out about this decision,
Yeah, you've been
and
super
I'm just
wrong by
gonna.
winning like 6 straight showdown slates. Never been more wrong in your life.
But I think in terms of just the head-to-head, uh, I still have to go with Anthony Davis. Uh, it's very close. I have them identical, literally within a point of each other. Um, but I'm going to prefer Anthony Davis. I'm going to go out on that island today. Not island. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have Anthony Davis higher than Jimmy Butler, but
Sure.
I'm just going to go out on that. I think the public, the casual players who aren't looking at projections, are going to prefer Jimmy Butler. And maybe Anthony Davis goes a little underowned potentially. I mean, 80 still put up a monster stat line
Yeah.
after he was hurt. Also, did you see Anthony Davis backhand Jay Crowder?
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting that it happened. Um,
Yeah.
I'm happy that nothing is coming of it, but at the same time, look, I mean, here's the deal. If Anthony Davis had like 15 technicals this year, I think that that gets officiated differently. Because he is not typically that player, I think it goes ignored.
Would Draymond Green be suspended for Game 6 if that would have
Does he have the same amount of technicals he had at the time that he got suspended for his ball swat?
happened? That was also after he had, I think, kicked Steven Adams in the groin as well. So that
Very
was
true.
all. That was all the reasons why he
Yeah,
was.
people get that wrong, thinking that Draymond got suspended for the act. He didn't get suspended for doing that in the playoffs. He got suspended because he had accumulated too many technicals. So while it was because of that, he could have gotten any technical and gotten suspended. People forget that. I have a question for you. I
Yeah.
want to know what your thought is
Mhm.
here. So I like the idea of either having Anthony Davis in the captain spot or, and again, I'm approaching this from 150 max. So when I say fade, I don't mean zero. Being heavier at Anthony Davis in the captain spot, being lighter in the utility spot. I think that he's either healthy enough to play and play well, or I want to kind of get away from him just in case it's a problem. I don't want to try to thread the needle to Anthony Davis plays well enough that he isn't the captain, but also is good enough to pay off 11-8. That makes sense?
Yeah. The way right now, I'm not getting him as much as in the captain spot as I'd like. I'm going to make sure to get more of him in the captain spot,
Okay.
just because Anthony Davis easily could be the highest scoring player of the game, and you're going to need him. And with that price, uh, he might be in the optimal captain as well if something else happens, if some value opens up during the game. I just, I going back to the question, I think uh, I want to be over the field in Anthony Davis captain, if that makes the most sense.
It
I
does.
think naturally I'm going to be over the field in his utility just because of making sure if that happens, just manually adjusting his projection a little bit.
Okay.
Uh, there's it's a fine line, like between him and Butler is how many dollars cheaper than Davis? He is
He's
$400 cheaper
yeah,
than Davis.
600 or
So
500 at the captain spot. No, 600 at the captain spot because math
yeah,
is difficult at 7:03 p.m. on a Sunday.
yeah, and I think that's going to be potentially where the slate is maybe won or lost if to get that decision right. The way the prices worked out today. There are ways to get all three of these guys in the lineup. Once again, we're taking shots at potentially Markeep at captain or Caruso at captain, I believe. But I like AD. I think adrenaline's gonna take away the pain, and I like that he's starting at the five. Potentially more rebounds, potentially more putbacks. Uh, so I like that. I think I like AD today quite a bit, and that's why I like him more than Butler. I do expect Butler to still be dominant. That's really hard to take away from him. Uh, Now, do I expect him to go? What do you go? He took 19 shots. That seems right on there. He went 12 of 12 from the line. Now, he almost put up 83 points again. He put up 82 last time. Man, if he does 80 plus points again, I got it. That's amazing. But I only have it projected in the mid 50s right now.
Same.
Uh, and that feels low based off how he's performed the last four times out. But there's now if he might lose some ball handling to Dragic if Dragic plays some amount of minutes. So there's rooms for him. There's more chances. Sorry, there are more ways from him not to get 82 fantasy points again, and I'm just banking on that doesn't happen again.
I agree there. We've got 780 people in here. We almost got to 200 likes, 186. So hit the thumbs up. Let's take us north of 200. We've got to get out of here in about 10 minutes. We're going to kick it over to Emac and Kyle, who are about to do our NFL live before lock for our showdown slate for Sunday Night Football. Spoiler alert, I've also got two showdown videos, one for FanDuel, one for DraftKings. They've been up today breaking down this game. So if you want to check that out, feel free. I think we've touched on the major aspects of this slate. So I'm going to ask you a relatively broad question, and then I think that we can transition to just some questions from the audience. So we talked about the top end. We talked about Nunn and Caruso and Morris and all of the guys being affected by the news that, one, Dragic is active, and two, that Dwight Howard is not starting. Who do you like in the middle of it all? And I'm going to include Bam in this. So Bam, Hero, Robinson, Crowder, Rondo, KCP, Kuzma, Danny, the non-hero of Game 5, Danny Green. Who do you like that isn't clearly at the top or actively affected by the news that we got today?
Actively affected by the news we got today. I mean, I like Markeep at 3K.
Yeah.
That's a nice potential pivot off of Alex Caruso. If the way your lineup works out, there's ways to obviously play both. I'm gonna like Jay Crowder again. He played 40 minutes and he'll put up only 15 fantasy points.
Yeah.
If he's gonna play 40 minutes, like I said last time, he took 9 3-pointers. He only hit 2. Jay Crowder has potential to hit 30 fantasy points. At 6,800, 30 plus fantasy points might be enough. I'm not entirely sure just because how important the studs are in the series right now. The 6,800 is an okay price. It will make your lineup immediately different, and different is really being different on a showdown slate is really important. So that's where I'm looking at it right now. Uh, I Part of me is kind of worried maybe Frank Vogel shortens the rotation to potentially just Rondo and I guess Rondo and Kuzma would be the two off the bench, and he plays a 7-man rotation.
Yeah.
If that happens, Kuzma could maybe spike in upside, but God, Kuzma is really hard to rely on. 4,800 makes it tough. I would prefer Danny Green at 4,400 to Kuzma at 4,800.
Okay. We good on any just general thoughts? I think it'd be time to open it up for questions until we get out of here
Uh,
at 7:15.
I think maybe Iguodala, just because the veteran trust of potentially guarding LeBron. I know he's priced up to 4K now.
Okay.
That's just because Iguodala might He might, if Crowder gets in foul trouble, if there's foul trouble and people are struggling, Iguodala could play 30 minutes in this matchup. So, and when someone can play 30 minutes, you're gonna make sure to have some interest in them. So that's all I really have. I think we've touched on almost everyone who's has a rotation spot today. So
I appreciate everyone hitting that thumbs up. We are at 211 with 750 people in here. So thank you very much for that. I love getting those likes, whether it's early in the day for NFL, which, by the way, for those of you that watch both shows, yeah, I got my 100 yards and a touchdown pick, correct? Anyway, we'll talk about that next Sunday. 222 likes. Hit that thumbs up. It's my last call for it. We're going to kick this over to the NFL guys in about 6 minutes. But for now, we will take some questions. The first one that I see is Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson at the pro spot on FanDuel. Very specific. I know.
I'm gonna go with Tyler Hero.
Agreed.
Just that's like purely an ownership play. I think Duncan Robinson will be overowned just in general.
Uh, just wanted to put this out there. Butler, LeBron, Duncan Robinson, Goran Dragic, and KCP is the lineup that Dave is putting out. I know we announced his lineup last time on the show. Wanted to make sure he seemed happy about it last time, so we're going to do that again. So that is Dave's lineup for tonight, just in case you guys were curious. Jeremy Dugan or Duggan potentially. It's probably Dugan since it's only one G. None in play. I think that he is significantly less in play than he was earlier. I wouldn't go too crazy about getting him out, though, because I am not particularly worried about Goran Dragic. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think you nailed it right on that. I can't really differ from that. It's also so tough because of the injury Dragic is dealing with, where I can't fully advocate as a full fade of Kendrick Nunn just because of the situation with Dragic. And Nunn played well. It's not like Nunn has played bad. They've won two of the last four games with him playing those minutes. So I I still I like Nunn, but I like Nunn less before we started after we started the show.
For Adam Schefter, Dak Prescott going undergoing ankle surgery tonight.
Jeez,
Yeah, that's not good. Not good at all.
that's so tough. Man, that's so crushing. He was playing unbelievable. Uh, Tough. Now we get to see the red rifle back at it again in
What's
Andy Dalton.
What's worse, Dak injuring his ankle or me playing a lot of Jimmy G, him getting benched at halftime and losing to the Dolphins 43-17? Because I'd rather have Dak's broken ankle.
Man, I had quite a bit of Jimmy G in the afternoon, and I believe he was a 2x multiplier on Super Draft. So that was a really tough not to play him there just because
Well,
of that.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not familiar with this super draft site that you mentioned, but I am super aware of the No House Advantage site. If you're interested in signing up, go to nohouseadvantage.com and use the promo code Awesemo. We just got a super chat from Jonathan Fantano. Both of your thoughts on Bam or Jimmy at star for FanDuel. I prefer
You'll be
Jimmy.
really different with Bam. I prefer Jimmy, but you'll be super different on FanDuel where let's say Bam puts up a monster double game, goes 20 and 10, picks up a few stocks. Unlikely he hasn't done it yet, but you'll be super different. And on FanDuel, that's all you really need to be to do to get like jump a lot of people. If Bam somehow spikes an upside game, you'll be jumping the field by quite a bit. I don't mind it. It just depends on your risk, but I do prefer Jimmy.
I agree. Udonis Haslam deserve a look tonight as a potential last game with Miami. I would confirm that he is active first. Since Dragic is active, someone that has been active isn't. And I don't know who it
Is
is
it
right
Chris
now.
Silva?
I don't know. I haven't seen
You don't
anything.
know.
So I would just want to confirm that Haslam is active before I did anything weird like that. I haven't seen anything. I don't know who it is. But for Dragic to be active, someone that was isn't. And I don't know who it is. So I don't want to mention anybody in that regard because
Mhm.
I can't be sure that that person can be on the court. Not just will they, but if they physically are allowed to do it. So if we see that anywhere, if you see that Udonis Haslam is part of the active roster, then you want to play a lineup or two with him, I understand why you would do it. Not for me.
Yeah, the way the games have gone, of late, I mean, both coaches have done adjustments. Credit to Spoelstra for making this a competitive series, mainly solely because of Jimmy Butler just carrying the team on his back. Uh, it's tough for me to take shots on that. I mean, I feel comfortable maybe if the Lakers were to blow them out, you can take shots on potentially the Lakers 1K players, but that's just a shot in the dark.
7:14 p.m. Eastern time. We have enough time for one more question before we turn this bad boy over to the NFL guys. We turn this over to Emac and Kyle. So the final question is going to be coming from Adewale Bates, I believe. Rondo at captain tonight. I like him more than the public ownership. I wouldn't be terribly excited about having Rondo at captain, however. I think that he is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think he's the 8th best captain.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, we've seen a Rondo upside game in this series. He did put up 30 plus, so that's all I really have for Rondo. Sure, if you're building 5 lineups and you're okay with uh, having one captain Rondo, just being the potential last NBA, you just want to spike an upside in your lineup. I think that's fine. I'm okay because it's Rondo, and we've seen a potential double double at captain. But by no means am I trying to do that actively.
Okay. 7:15. That means we are out of here. You guys got a couple minutes left until lock, so pay attention there. We're going to turn this over to Emac and Kyle as they take you up to lock for the NFL. So, Ryan, final thoughts. Anything you want to add before we get out of here?
Now, if this is the last NBA game of the year, it was a lot of fun joining you, talking about the finals. And I wish everyone who was watching a healthy rest of the calendar year. And we'll catch you next season. And good luck tonight.
There you go, guys. Thank you for joining us. We are out of here. Good luck. And at the rate that we're going, Ryan and I will see you for game 7 on Tuesday, I guess. So good luck, everybody. We're out of here. Bye-bye.